Hi guys, it's Andreas Sonic Mainliner with Vinyl Finds 114. This is going to be a one-part, too loud, a one-part video. It's been a while since I've made a video, mainly because work has been like seriously crazy. It's not like, oh yeah, well, usually we finish at 5:30 and now we finish at 6:30 and oh my god, I missed my yoga class or whatever. It's been like really hardcore and I'm talking like late nights and shit like that. So I'm behind watching videos from people, I'm behind commenting, I've been just coming home, sitting on the sofa, couch for, North Americans, and just staring blankly at walls basically. But I did manage to get some albums which I'm going to be sharing with you. But before I actually start sharing music with you, I will share with you a story that is sort of weaved in, because it was really funny. I was thinking about it and it's just anyway, we'll get to that. So, playing in the background is this album. This is not a new purchase, this is not a new find. This is something that I bought like 5 years ago or something like that. And it's basically this person, Paris Zanguenet. There you go. So she's Iranian, or as younger Iranians usually call themselves Persian. And this album came out in 1977. This is a reissue. It was commissioned by the Institute for Intellectual Development of Children and Young Adults from Iran, 1977. That was 76. So 1977 was, I think, the Cultural Revolution, which basically, things got screwed over back there. Anyway, doesn't matter. This came out in 1977. This is a reissue, and it's fairly limited. It's 150 copies, and it's a brilliant album. Well, you can hear it in the background. Basically, it is folk stories being just sang in a sort of modern pop-ish way, and it sounds really familiar to me because it's the kind of music that serious in quote unquote musicians in the 70s would think of as pop sounding. And there is music like this, I think, around Europe, and definitely Greece had similar sounding stuff. And that sort of came to my mind when I was playing this, and and somebody was in the room and they said, oh yeah, this is like Nana Mouskouri. If you don't know Nana Mouskouri, anyway, it doesn't matter. And Nana Mouskouri would be the music that my mother would hear, and it's like, she actually had Nana Mouskouri records. It's like, and this is sort of branded as completely uncool. That hasn't. This is beautiful. It's sang in Farsi, so but the music and it just works really well. Amazing. If you ever see a copy of this, just grab it. And anyway, she was saying, oh yeah, Nana Mouskouri, and in the back of my mind, this is like Nana Mouskouri is branded as uncool. Never listen to it. Like it's old people's music, and all that kind of stuff. And I have always been, joking, and it's like, oh, I don't like this. I don't know. Maybe you have heard me say that. I don't like this. Maybe when I grow old, and blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff. And so I was listening to this album, and I was listening to this album as well. So and the other thing is that I will show you the other album. And the other thing is that especially with prog rock, it's like I think that is like it's the kind of music that I would say that, oh yeah, this is the kind of music that I will listen to when I grow up, like when I grow older or whatever. And I have a problem with prog rock. I I do listen to some of it, but there's large parts that just are inaccessible to myself. There's no way, I cannot listen to that. I remember Aaron was saying that he listened to this Yes album, Tales from the Topographic Oceans, or something like that. Anyway, you know, one of those celebrated sort of, and you know, Yes is like as prog as you get, right? And I was like, yeah, well, you know, I've tried, and I wrote a message saying, oh yeah, you know, I've tried it before and whatnot. He's like, yeah, you know, he was saying in the video that, you know, I've never liked it, and then suddenly it just snapped, like, oh yeah, this is really good. And maybe it's like a wisdom tooth, you know, the prog wisdom tooth, you know, you grow old, you're like, you're mature, and now you can listen to Yes or something. I don't know. His prog wisdom tooth, like, you know, came out of, I don't know, whatever. And I tried to listen to that Yes again, and then after listening to like 20 minutes, I had to listen to 2 hours of thrash metal just to, you know, rebalance myself. Anyway, long story short, I was listening to this one. This is one of the new finds. It is actually a new find, which is like a prog record. And I was listening to this, and then to this, and I was like, fuck, maybe my prog wisdom tooth just, you know, appeared. Anyway, yeah, that's my story. So yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's time I start listening to prog rock. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, Tim Blake, this is, I don't remember if this is his first album or his second album. Anyway, I found both of these in a very random trip to a record shop, used record shop, and I have always been looking for these, well, always. Silly to say that, I've been looking for these for a while. And I have the files and whatnot, and yeah, I couldn't find them in good condition. And I found these that are like, well, they said that it's like, you know, VG, but the vinyl is completely unplayed. And you know, if you have them on a sleeve like this, you wouldn't know that it's used, to be honest. If you take it out, sort of, you can sort of see that, you know, it is old, but this came out in 1978, and this is 1977, yeah, so this, I think this is the first one. Tim Blake, obviously, you know, you can see what he does. He played in Gong, and he played for a short while, well, not a short while, he actually still plays, I think, with Hawkwind. And you can definitely see where the Hawkwind influence comes from. So this is a reissue, well, not reissue, no, this is an original actually, on Egg. Is it on Egg? Sorry. Need to check. This is, yeah, no, this is on Egg. Yeah, this is an original on Egg, and the other one is an original on Barclay. So yeah, I guess that somebody sold their collection, because you know, these look like they were, you know, they came from the same place. Anyway, the first, my first contact with Tim Blake was this one, which is Crystal Machine, which is like a synth album from, you know, it's the kind of album that you would expect to hear from that sort of era. And I really liked it when I got the files initially. I was like, oh yeah, man, I need to get this. But now that I have both of them, I can definitely say that this one, New Jerusalem, is way better. It's way proggier as well, which is really funny. That is where, you know, that is where my prog wisdom tooth story comes in. And yeah, this is way proggy, and I really enjoyed this album. I've been listening to this like a lot. It starts off with, you know, I like the fact that it's like really cheesy. I mean, it has all these cheesy new age stuff, like, you know, pyramids and ley lines, and, you know, sort of like 70s pulp sort of semi-educational, well, not semi-educational, you know, books about UFOs and things like that, and energies and crystals and shit like that, which is like, I find it amusing, to be honest. It's like, and I like, you know, the the feel of it, you know, that kind of it's like B movies from, you know, with the UFOs from the 50s or whatever. It's like exactly the same thing. 70s, you sort of expect it to, you know, to get that pop culture sort of thing happening. Does that make sense? I have no idea. Anyway, great album. I highly recommend. If you haven't, between the two, this one is the winner, in my opinion. New Jerusalem is like an amazing song. It's really funny because I was listening to it and I was thinking, you know what, New Jerusalem just takes over side 2 completely. It's like 17 minutes or something like that. And my guess is that what happened with this song is that, you know what, we have like, what, 5 songs and we need to make an album. So let's take New Jerusalem and just stretch it. So, you know, it's like, you know, he repeats the chorus like, you know, 3-4 times, which is not really needed, but it doesn't take away from the song. It's really good, but I know, I think I understand why he sort of did it, because there isn't like a lot of soloing, or there are parts that, you know, it sort of justifies the length, but I think that it's been stretched a little bit more just to fit, like, you know, to have like the second side filled out. First side is really good as well. I mean, you know, starts off with a song for a new age, you know, all that shit, like, you know, crystals and ley lines and pyramids and whatever. And, you know, that silliness sort of adds to the feel of it, and I really enjoy it. I really, really like it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. I can also see where the connection with Hawkwind comes in. He does try to do like that sci-fi thing, but obviously Hawkwind had Moorcock writing the sci-fi stuff, so they were like a lot better than what Tim Blake can do, which, you know, doesn't take away from, you know, the overall outcome. So yeah, anyway, Tim Blake, Crystal Machine, and Crystal Machine. I need to show you Crystal Machine. Crystal Machine. Yeah. Oh yeah, and this one really good as well. I mean, as I said, personal preference. This one, when I first got the files, I preferred this one to this one, but now that I have the record, I prefer this one. So I don't know. You know. I'm a bit older now. Maybe that's why. Who knows? And also, I'm getting older because I'm forgetting stuff. So I was, what was it? Last time I was showing you. Where is it? There you go. So I was showing you this album, and I was saying, oh yeah, you need to get these. And as I was showing these, I showed this one. Well, I showed all of these. So it's like all the Mr. Bongo reissues, and I don't know whether I said it, but I definitely thought about it. That, oh yeah, maybe I need to get that because I have these pretty much. So, and I was looking through my albums, and lo and behold, I did have it, and it was sealed, and it was there. And then I remembered when I saw it that I got it from a record show. And because I moved 3 times last year, I sort of bought it around, early summer last year. So in between moving and whatnot, I completely forgot I had it. So I have shown this before, but to me it was like, oh, a new album. So I'm showing it here. Tom's there, and this is a reissue from Mr. Bongo, and you know, classic Tropicalia stuff. So you know, if you're into this kind of thing, you know, check this out. Simple. An album that I sort of had in the want list. This Amondu. This is not Amondu 2. This is the original Amondu. This is their first album, Psychedelic Underground, and this is krautrock, obviously, but it's not krautrock in the sense that you sort of have in mind, like Can or bands like that. This is a terrible production. This is like the equivalent of a krautrock of what did I want to say? Yeah, this is the equivalent of basically the based on production basically of the German version of the Velvet Underground, but playing psychedelic music and being like a hippie commune and whatnot. So there you go. So yes, really bad production, very repetitive jams and whatnot. It's sort of, you know, the kind of thing that I like. I'm not saying that this is an amazing album and you should go out and get it. Stick with the Amondo 2 albums. This is good to have. I found it cheap, so I was like, you know, why not? And this is our issue on Klimt, which does a really good job usually. And this is no different. So, you know, gatefold, you get the record in the annoying inner sleeve, which is like, yeah. Oh well, you know, can't get everything. The other thing is that, oh yeah, on that trip I went to the record shop and I got the Tim Blake albums. I also saw this one. Now, this is Susie and the Banshees. This is the first album. What is it called? The Scream. Yes, I also have the Scream on CD, which is I had it for like 10 years or something. And I always wanted to get the vinyl. And this is an original, like pristine condition, like the Tim Blake. That's why I think that, you know, they have a collection somewhere that came in. And you know, you can find these, both Tim Blake's and this one, like, you know, very cheap here in the UK, but not in this condition. This is like brand spanking new. I mean, you know, with the inner and everything, and look at the paper. I mean, look at this. This is like white. Usually it's yellowed out and just really tired, and this is an original, so, you know, absolute classic post-punk. Well, I guess that it's sort of classified with punk, but I think that is more post-punk, and it's just a brilliant, brilliant album. I mean, if you listen to one thing from the Susie and the Banshees, just make sure that it's this one. I was showing an album the other day. Oh yeah, I was showing Fugazi, Repeater, I think, and I was saying that, well, you know what, I have, what was it? Was it Fugazi or was it something else? See, I'm getting on a bit. Oh god. This is like anyway, I was showing some album and I was saying that, yeah, you know what, I need to get Mission of Burma and whatnot, and here's Mission of Burma. Now this is Mission of Burma Versus. This is their only like album that they made in 1983, I want to say 1982. Classic post-punk US band. I don't remember where they're from, to be honest. No, I do not remember. And usually when I say that, oh, this band is from there, I get corrected. I don't mind getting corrected. I'm not like, you know, that fussed about it, because, be honest, if I did care, I would know. I don't really care. I know that this is US, this is 1980 something, and it's a fucking brilliant album. Also, one of the things about this album is that I remember seeing this album cover a bit, and I was always confused. It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful cover. It's like sort of this wired fence kind of thing, and these blue flowers. And I couldn't. My brain did not comprehend exactly what it was showing, but it's beautiful. It's one of the best album covers ever, I think. And the music is just so good. They do remind me of The Wire, the UK band, which you should know. If you haven't, check 154 out from them, and Pink Flag and Chairs Missing, but 154 definitely. And yeah, they have sort of this kind of post-punk sound, but they don't have that kind of depth or like sophistication, if you like, that The Wire have. But yeah, I think that this is the US sort of version of The Wire. And the sign is finished, so I better. These videos are so exciting, aren't they? Me changing sides on records and everything. So yeah, oh yeah. So this is an album that I had no idea about, and I saw it in one of the Facebook pages. I checked it out, and yes, I was like, yep, I'm getting that. So This is Sonny Simmons and Moshka there you go. And it's called Nomadic. So Sonny Simmons is a jazz player, saxophone player, I think. He has done like loads of stuff, and I discovered some of his earlier stuff that are really interesting. But here he is joined with a stoner band. So there is, do I have enough time? Hang on, 1 second. 1 second, I will be with you momentarily. Yes, because I was thinking about this. So yeah, so this is like Eastern sounding sort of jazz, psychedelic jazz, and backed with stoner rock band, which works really, really well. Really, really well. The only downside of this album, and I highly recommend it, it's, definitely check it out. The only downside of this album is that it's quite short. I would like it to be a little bit like a song or two longer, but other than that, it's brilliant. It came out in 2015 or something like that. Yeah, anyway, do check this one out. Really, really good. And the reason why I ran to the shelves is that if you dig this one, so psychedelic sort of Eastern sounding jazz with sort of a more modern rock band behind it, and you like the stoner element, check out the psychedelic element, which is you can find in this album, which is Al Doom and the Farids, and I think it's Positive Force, yeah. So it's like, again, Eastern sounding psychedelic jazz, but backed with a psychedelic band, basically. And these guys are Italian. Super highly recommended album. I've shown this like a couple of times. And to finish off this Vinyl Records update, we have metal. Yay! So I went to the record shops yesterday. I found something, but I was like, nah, I don't really care. And I found this one for very cheap. So this is Celtic Frost, Tomegatherion. Yeah, Tomegatherion. It's Greek. So yeah, this is classic Celtic Frost album, 1980. What? 1980. Come on. I remember seeing this in record shops when I was going to metal record shops back in the day, and for one reason or another, I never bought any Celtic Frost. So this one and Monotheist is probably one of the most celebrated of their albums. Oh, and the first one, obviously. But this is like, it's quite rare as well to find these days. On vinyl, and I'm not entirely convinced with Celtic Frost. I'm not entirely convinced. I want to like them, but it's like very early black metal, so not very good production, that kind of stuff. And this is like the band that sprang out of Hellhammer, and eventually they became Triptychon. I think the guy from plays on Triptychon, his band. So yeah, anyway, I don't know. I bought it anyway. I will try to listen to this again, and God knows, maybe it will work out. And finally, talking about metal. Metal usually is like, it's sort of considered to be extreme music. Although, the definition of extreme sort of changes from, time from decade to decade. So, I guess that, Kill 'Em All would have been very extreme for the metalheads of the time. And, I don't know, Morbid Angel would have been like really extreme, like, 6-7 years later, or, the things sort of, and then Metallica would have become like a little bit more mainstream, and whatnot. But usually metal is considered to be extreme as a genre in general. And these guys, in an extreme genre, they take the cake, basically. They take the cake and then they eat the cake, and then after eating the cake they defecate on your sofa, and then they put all the excrement around the walls, and then they just go out the bakery and burn the bakery. And that's how extreme they are. I mean, these are Nails, and this is their latest album, You Will Never Be One of Us, out on Nuclear Blast, came out like last month. And Nails are like a trio. They play this sort of extreme grindcore, hardcore. It's a mental exercise to actually endure their albums, but you should do it because they're good, and it's like broccoli and it's good for you, and you should try it. And when I first listened to Nails album, I could manage like a minute. It's like going to the gym. You start off, you're like, you know what, I went to the treadmill and I did like a kilometer or like a mile or whatever you want to measure it on, and then after a month I could do 3 miles, and then I was doing like loads and whatnot. Same here. It's really good. Do check it out if you're into extreme. I mean, just having it for being extreme is like, yeah, it's a badge of honor. I have the previous album, and I've also ordered the first album, which has recently been issued. And yeah, I really like these guys. Yeah, so Nails. Will Never Be One of Us. It's just an exercise in extremeness, I guess. So yeah, the only downside of this album is 45 RPM, which pisses me off. Oh, and the other thing is Nuclear Blast have decided to put like a sticker saying that, oh yeah, this is black vinyl, which I don't mind, but this sticker is like the worst sticker they could think of. Seriously. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Well, the end of the finds anyway, and the end of the video will be shortly with you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Do leave your comments. You can always like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. Comments, I always respond, even if I might be a bit late in my responses, but I always respond. And subscribe if you like this kind of stuff, and unsubscribe if you think that is complete rubbish, or stay subscribed for the odd video here and again that I will be posting. So yeah. Anyway, I will hopefully I will be seeing you shortly. I don't know. I will be seeing you in like less time than it took for this video. Probably I will do a now playing, because it's I don't buy that many records, to be honest. So there you have it. Anyway, see you guys around.